Dan, as a club, 11th isn't exactly what Brentford are aiming for, but top half, still a good finish?
An indifferent finish, I'd say. It's an achievement when you think about the infrastructure of the club compared to some of the likes of Aston Villas and Stokes, Derby counties, and so on and so forth in this division. It's well documented that we don't quite have the same resources as those clubs. We do things a way in which suits Brentford Football Club, and in a way you could say we're batting above our weight. But on the flip side, I think if you compare our squads and the quality we have with the likes of Aston Villa and the bigger so-called bigger sides of the Championship, I think we're got more than enough quality to compete and beat those sides. We've showed so many times this season that we can mix it with the big boys, if you like, and you only have to look at Villa at home, and the list is endless. We do it season in, season out. I say the same thing after every season. We make sure that we're competing, and that is an achievement in itself. But like I say, on the flip side, I think we're probably a little bit disappointed that we haven't quite achieved the playoffs. I think if you'd have asked at the start of the season, that would have been a certain goal. And I remember, I said to you guys when you asked me at the start of the season, what's the aim? And I said, go get in the top two, win the division. You have to aim high, otherwise you're not going to achieve it. It didn't quite materialise for whatever reason. Obviously, we had the spell in which we were probably poor in the grand scheme of things, and unlucky at times as well. Obviously, the untimely passing of Rob didn't help that situation. But we won't and can't use that as an excuse. But Thomas came in and made sure that we adapted to the situation, and I think we've been steady ever since. And I think we can certainly build on what we've achieved.
As an individual, ups and downs, and obviously missed the last few weeks of the season. But overall, how do you feel it's gone?
Indifferently, to be honest. I don't think it's probably been, in terms of form, it's probably been my worst season to date as a pro. That's being bluntly honest, to be quite honest with you. In terms of my form, there's been games in which I've been really happy with, and there's been games that I've walked away and thought there was all kinds of things to work on, and games that I was really disappointed in. It's been a turbulent year in terms of change of goalkeeper coach, which was difficult to begin with because there was the language barrier with Iñaki and the fact that he wanted change in so many areas. So I had to buy into that and make sure that it was an investment into my future. And I think that I'm in a better position now heading into next season than what I would have been if I hadn't have changed anything. So I would certainly look at it as an investment. And I think that when you have difficult seasons, when you go through turbulent times, I think that's when you grow as a person and as a professional. And I think I've done that. I feel different standing here today than I was 6 months ago, or 9 months ago, or 10 months ago when the season started. I feel better equipped to go into next season, and I feel like I'm a better goalkeeper going into next season. And I can produce what I expect of myself, and what I would like to think everybody expects from me, with what I've demonstrated in the last couple of years. So in terms of personally, it's one I can look back on and learn from. I think that's the best thing I can do with this season, and there's good times that I can remember, and I can make sure that I learn from the times that weren't so good. And I'm my own worst critic. So I'm fully aware when things aren't right, and I do everything I can, work hard to adapt that situation.
It's quite a young squad overall. In terms
I feel
of
like
that,
a granddad in this squad.
In terms of that makeup, how has it been? What's the dynamic been like?
Yeah, I feel like a granddad. 25 years old, and it's probably one of the only squads in the country where I'm a bit like a granddad. I'm more than happy to be a senior member of this squad. Obviously, like you say, there's a lot of youngsters, there's a lot of youth in terms of experience and age. I'd like to think that I bring to the table a lot of experience in nearly 300 games as a pro, and I've been doing this for since the age of 16 when I signed my first scholarship. So I am one of the senior members of the squad, and I'm proud to be that. And I think if we can keep the squad together and we can keep growing as individuals, but most importantly as a collective, I think we can really go from strength to strength next season. And like I say, the aim possibly wasn't achieved, and we were possibly, a little disappointed with how the season finished and where we ended up. But I think if we take what we've learnt this year into next year, I think we can really be contenders for next year, because I'm sure people don't enjoy playing us, especially when we're on form. But it's a matter of keeping that consistent form.
In terms of the summer for you, can you switch off? Do you switch off? What's it going to be like?
Absolutely, I'm switching off. Yeah, I don't. I try and stay away from football as much as possible. I'd say the injuries come at a time in which would probably be the best time to get an injury, if there ever is one. I mean, but I grew an injury when I was 20, 21, 22, or I missed 2 games. I've never been injured. Touch wood. But I think if it's come at a time that's good. I think this has been a good time, because I've been able to watch football from a stand, which is a different viewpoint for me. I've not done that before. I'm not used to that. So I think that's given me a different perspective on football. It's given me a different perspective on my goalkeeping. Watching the boys from the training ground, from the gym is not something I've enjoyed doing. But in terms of the injury, it's given me a chance to rest my mind, and I feel very mentally relaxed. Obviously, when you've got the vigours of week in, week out football, Saturday, Tuesdays, and so on and so forth, it can really take its toll, not just physically but mentally as well, especially for a goalkeeper. So I like to think that I've utilised this time to mentally rest, and now obviously with the end of the season, I'll be working through the summer to make sure that my shoulder's right for pre-season. But a rest physically and mentally, totally. Getting out of the country into a bit of sun with my other half will be fantastic, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. And obviously that will be in preparation for next year.